Morning, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Love 500 and welcome back to day 2 of Project Markie. Well, let's get into it right now. So welcome back, as I said, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Love 500, welcome back to Project Markie. So, as we left you the last time, we discovered that the thermostat had a small leak to it. So I've got a new thermostat, just sitting in that box there. It's well over a week since since the last video, and for the first time for quite some time we didn't have a video on Wednesday. So I apologise that due to the way my shifts have worked at work. Due to the horrible weather we've had and this rotten stinking cold that I've still not got over completely. 3 weeks into it now. We didn't get any more done, unfortunately. And it's all although it's quite bright today, I don't know if you can see the relatively blue sky up there, it's about 3 degrees, so it's not the nicest of weather, hence why I'm wearing my hat today. But yeah, it's quite cold. Obviously I do this outdoors, so I am reliant on the weather, but there's no rain, so you know, it's not minus temperatures, so there's no reason I can't get on with it. As much as I don't like doing it in this weather, it's got to be done because we want to get this finished. As you know, we've got a buyer for this. The buyer hasn't seen it, but there's no reason why they won't buy it. They're quite desperate to get one. I have actually 3 or 4 people that want white lounges, so I literally cannot do them quick enough at the moment. Shame I don't do this as my full-time business, because I could probably, yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I don't, so that's not the point. So today we are going to do the thermostat. It's maybe over a couple of days. So I don't know how much I'm going to get done today because it's approaching midday at the moment. It's about 11:30, I think. So yeah, thermostat. I'm going to jack it up, get the 2 front wheels off because I realised this morning that I haven't actually looked at the brakes to see whether the pads need doing, whether the discs need doing, and also want to check the bushes on the front arms. Because obviously we're going to put the new bumper on. I want to make sure that it's not going to need new arms when it goes for an MOT. You know, I don't want it failing on the MOT for new arms. I don't think it will, but I haven't looked at them. So I want to do that first, because obviously if that needs doing, I've then got to take the bumper off again to do it. So I don't want to do that. I've got the new bumper in the shed at the bottom of the garden, which is the brand new one which I had painted. Hopefully there's no marks on it where it's been stored. So I will be taking this bumper off, taking all the trim off, the lights off, the badge, everything off. Number plate I'll throw away as I've got new ones, and we will then dress the bumper with all the new bits or the used bits, and we'll get that bumper on as well. So I'm hoping by the end of either today or tomorrow we're ready for the MOT, so I can go online and book an MOT somewhere. I still haven't found myself a new garage yet, so it might even be quick fit again. So that's the plan for today. I'm going to do the thermostat now. That's going to be the first thing, so I've got to drain it down. But I'm going to put you on time lapse for this, because obviously you saw me do it on my sister-in-law's one very recently, which I also did on time lapse. So I anticipate it taking me probably about half an hour, something like that. But on time lapse, it will be like probably a minute for you. So let's set you up on time lapse, and we'll see you when we come out the other side. Okay, so it's all done. Took a while. I had trouble with some of the Jubilee clips. I didn't have the right size Jubilee clip, and I had to try and reuse excuse me, one of the older ones, which I managed to get on eventually. So what I've got to do now is I've got to top up the coolant, if I can find it. There it is. Top this up. Obviously once it starts going around the system, it will, because there wasn't any in that pipe, so I guess it had leaked out and not got past there. It was lucky really that it hadn't completely gone. Here's my torch. And you know, pumped all of the coolant. It was only me trying to get that hose off that actually made it. There's the coolant, can't even see it. Oh, there it is. Oh, actually not that low. It obviously just hadn't gone through. So if I prop that in there so I can actually see, I think once I start it up, it'll start sucking it through, hopefully. So it's already quite high. So I didn't lose very much, because obviously I realised once I'd started it up. Right, that's at max now, so we'll leave that like that, and then we'll start her up. Get the torch out of the way. Get that out of the way. Right, let's do it. Okay, fire in the hole. Oh, I've got to put my foot on the clutch. This really annoys me, this. Let's put that on hot full blast, aircon off. Right. Now we have to let it warm up. How's that done? Well, nothing leaking so far. I know it's not under pressure yet, so we'll put the cap on, let the pressure build up, let it push it round. We'll get the bleed screw undone, and then we might top it up from there so we can push it round, push the air around with it. Loosen that off. I don't like doing these after breaking one. Right, let's fill it up again. We'll top it up again, I should say. The usual trick, so you keep topping it up until it comes out, until it starts coming out of that bleed screw. Not sure if you can see it. Let's move you around. Zoom in if I can. Bear with. Yeah, I'm not sure it's getting it in, but that's the bleed screw just there. Take that off, it's rattling. And then once it starts coming out of there, we'll put the bleed screw back in. It's taking quite a lot actually, I suppose. Yeah, it's gone down quite a bit now. I suppose it was those pipes, when I took that pipe off, before I took the thermostat off, virtually nothing came out. Obviously it wasn't getting past there, it was just leaking. So it's taking quite a lot. So having the heater on should draw it through as well. So that is hopefully pushing the air out of there, and then once we get to the coolant actually coming out, then we'll get air forcing its way out of there as well. I think we might have to give it some revs. Let's just zoom you out a little bit. I'm going to give it a few revs. I'm going to take that screw off of there. I don't want to lose that. I don't want the vibration to make it drop down, because you'll be knackered if you lose that. Let's give it some revs. I probably need to let it warm up a little bit first. Anything come out of there? Oh yeah, stuff has come out of there. I don't know if you saw that, you probably did, but I can see it's all over the top now, so it's obviously me putting my foot on it that's made it come out of there. So I think what I'm going to do for now, it's still not coming out of there, so I think I'm going to let it build up pressure. Right, it's pretty much bled now, pretty much. Pipes are all warm. The level's still quite high. There's still a bit of air in it, I think, but I'm letting it just get proper up to running temperature. I think really to do this properly, you need to take it for a spin, and that will help to move it all around. It's all very well getting in it and giving it a few revs, but I think to do it properly, you've got to take it for a spin. So what I'll do is I'll do all the other stuff. It's not leaking. I've got the torch down there. It's not leaking. It's perfectly good now, which is fantastic. Not my favourite job in the world, especially on these cars with the horizontal engine management, the engine ECU. It's a blooming pain because you just can't see what you're doing properly without taking that cage off. It's really annoying. It's quite difficult to get the cage off as well. I say difficult. It's only 10mm bolts and a nut, but it's just a nuisance. Anyway, it's done. I didn't bother filming it, but I've glued that back on the peg. I've also glued that back on using the old 2-part resin, which is the same as I've used on the bottom of the radiator peg. So they need to go off. I'll let them go off overnight, or let that go off overnight before I put that on. So I've got to go shopping down to Lidl's now because my wife keeps coming out and saying, "Can we go yet?" So I'll switch this off, and then this afternoon we'll come back out. We'll get it up in the air, get these wheels off, and have a look at the brakes. Because if I have to do the brakes, I'll do them. I have got brake pads. I have got brake discs. I'm not doing them unless they need doing, of course. I'll tell you what I did notice. I meant to film it actually while I had all this out. Written in the blue pen on the side of the gearbox is F500. So that, you know what that means? It's had a new gearbox. I don't know when, but it quite obviously has had a new gearbox. And as we know, the gearboxes can go in these. So yeah, it has had a new one, which is good news. Of course, not good news for the person who had to fork out £1,000 plus to have it done, but it's good news for us because we would obviously assume that as well as the gearbox, it would be false economy. So we can naturally assume that it's had a new clutch as well. We don't know when that was done, but we know it's been done, which is good. So okay, so I'm going to switch it off, and then we'll come back after I've been shopping. We'll get those wheels off, have a look at the brakes, have a look at those. The more important than the brakes is those bottom arms, the bushes on those bottom arms. We're hoping and praying that they're not split, because otherwise I've got to change them, and that is probably my least favourite job to do. Obviously, while we've got those bolts off as well, if we do need to do it, then obviously we can get that out while it's off. So obviously at the moment it's fortuitous that the bumper's off and that bottom bar's off, because that's the one you have to take off to get that chassis leg out to get to it. But let's hope they don't have to be done, but we'll know that when we check. So until then, I will see you very shortly. For you, an hour or so's time for me, and we'll see what it's like. So until then, better switch the engine off, and I better not leave it here running or someone will steal it. Anyway, yeah, see you shortly. Okay, it's a passenger side wheel, and looking at the brake pads, they look almost new. There is zero lip on the back and a very, 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 very minute one on the front. So that's good. Obviously they look a bit rusty because the car's not been driven. Okay, that's good. I think, I'm not sure, that could be water, or that might be oil on the shock absorber. So there's a possibility the shock absorber's leaking. Okay, I'm not going to do that unless I have to. I don't know whether that's just water that's leaked over it or whether it is actually oil. I don't know. It's difficult to tell. Hang on, let's put my finger on it. I don't want to be changing shocks really. I think it is oil, you know. Yeah, I think it is. It depends on how much it is, of course. If it's only a minute amount, then they'll let it go. But more importantly, let's look at the bushes. That one looks alright. It's difficult, they're always quite difficult to see, but that, from what I can see, looks fine. And that looks fine, yeah, they look alright. Gaiters look okay. Yeah, steering gaiter looks fine. Gaiter on the drive shaft looks okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure about these shocks, or this shock. It does look a bit oily, which might come up as a advisory. Let's hope it doesn't fail. Otherwise I'll have to do that, which I don't want to do. But yeah, they look okay. There's no splits or anything in those. So that's good. Right, okay, so we'll put this wheel back on. And then we'll go back around we'll go around the other side, get that one off, and have a look at that one. We go to the other side. And as you'd expect, obviously the brakes were done at the front and both sides done at the same time, obviously, so virtually new pads. Again, zero lip on the back and a very, very minute lip on the front. Fantastic. Calipers all look in relatively good condition. And bushes, no splits in that one. Yep, no splits in that one. It's always difficult to see those. Yeah, I can't see any splits in the front one. It's normally the back one is the one that splits. No splits under there. Yeah, that's all fine. That's good. Yeah, no oil on this at all. This thing. So it is a possibility that I might have to get a new shock on the other side. I hope not. But if I have to, I have to. But we'll see. But we'll put it through the MOT next week. If it comes up an advisory, then you know it's fine as long as it's okay. It's it can stay in as an advisory. The tyres seem to be all okay. Yeah, they're all good. So I don't think I'm going to need any new tyres, which is always a bonus. Mind you, it only cost me 30 quid anyway. Right, so yeah, that's all fine then. So what I'll do is I'll put that back on, get this wheel back on. What I'm doing at the moment is, as you know, what I always do is I take off the locking wheel nuts. There's no need to have locking wheel nuts on cars these days. I did leave them on the Sport, the recent Sport, Van Gogh, just because they're nicer wheels, but on these standard, people don't steal wheels, do they? So I swap them over and then flog them for 18, 20 quid on eBay. Yeah, okay, so that's that. We'll get this on. Not so we've got to get there, get that on, get the wheel back on, and then we will attack the bumper, I think. That's the next thing to do. Obviously I've got to take those the corresponding wheel nut off on the back as well, the locking one, so I'll get those off. Still got the bonnet to do. I'm fast running out of daylight, unfortunately. It's about 20 past, 3, something like that, and it doesn't look it through the camera, but it's we are fast losing the daylight. That's unfortunately the way it is this time of the year. So that's all. I imagine that glue's all gone off now. Yeah, that's all solid as a rock now. That's good. I'm going to leave this till the morning. It would have gone off, but I'm going to leave it till the morning just to make sure. It is hard, but I'm going to leave it, and then we'll put that back on. Obviously we don't know whether we're going to service this or not yet. I think once I get it MOT'd next week, fingers crossed it passes MOT'd next week, I'll then track down the service history, and if we need to service it we will, but hopefully not. Okay, that's good. Right, okay, let's get the wheel back on. We've also got to adjust this bonnet as well as doing the little thing, but again we can do that on Sunday. I'm not going to have time to do it now. I'd like to ideally get the new bumper on, so we need to get the bar on and get the new bumper at least dressed. I don't know if I'm going to have time to get it on today. It'll take me a little while to do all that, so I think it's going to be dark by the time I do that. So I should probably put the old one back on just for tonight, and then either tomorrow or Sunday. No, probably tomorrow, because I need to upload this for Sunday. So tomorrow I'll sort the bumper out. I'll probably sort the bumper out today, but I'll do it in the garage with some light, and then I'll get it fitted tomorrow, and then that'll be ready for Sunday's video. So okay, so until then, that's it for the time being. Let's get this wheel back on. Okay, so I thought while I was jacking it, I didn't actually need to jack it up to take the wheel nuts off, because I was only taking one off each side. I've done that. I don't know why I jacked it up to do that. I thought I might leave it like that. It looks like a bit like a drag racing car. Might jack it up at the back, put some coloured lights underneath and some flames coming out the back, something like that. Oh, look at that. Is that bird poo or is that moss? I'm not sure. Bird poo, I think. So what I thought I'd do, while I've got it jacked up at the back, I'm not going to crawl right underneath, because obviously it's only on the jack, but I'm just going to have a look and inspect the cups. Usual surface rust. Shocks look okay. Bump stop looks okay. Springs look okay. Hang on, let's have a look at that spring. That's just the... What is that? I think it's... You can't see, can you, without the light up there? Let me try and... Yeah, that's just like it's the surface paint that was just peeling off then. I thought it was actually falling apart, but it's not. So they look okay. The rear beam is okay. Let's have a look at that one. I'm looking underneath, so I'm facing you at the floor. Yeah, that one's fine. Spring looks okay. Exhaust is okay. Even the out casing's okay. Yeah, all looks good, this car. All looks good underneath. Excuse the erratic camera work. So I'll probably give that a brush before it's sold. I probably won't bother painting it, but trouble is, it's easy painting when it's off the car, but it's not so easy painting it when it's on the car without getting paint everywhere else and on yourself. So I might do. We'll see. We'll see how it is. I have got the brush on paint as well, so I could use that. So greased all those up and put them all back in. I don't know if you noticed on time lapse, but on the passenger side one, two of the captive nuts that are on the leg extension were missing. So the bolts were just spinning. I didn't realise, and then I saw that there was two nuts in the back. So and then I remembered when I took it off, that was the case. So. Yeah, two diagonal corners, so they've obviously come off for some reason. So, oh, excuse me. So, yeah, I had the nuts. I was able to do it anyway. Yeah, so it wasn't a problem. Okay, we are really losing the daylight now. So I think I've done everything I can do here, and we're pretty much complete now. All I've got to do is put the foam bit on the top, and then we're complete on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on now. And then, then come into the garage, close the garage door, and then what we'll do is we will get the old bumper in here, get all the bits off of it, place the empty bumper back on in position just to protect it from the rain, should it rain, and then I'll set up the new bumper on some trestles in the garage, and then we'll get all the bits and pieces on. So we'll see you back very shortly. So I always get a bit confused with these. I can never remember which way around they go. So I'm pretty sure, so we got a thick piece and a thin piece. And I'm pretty sure it's the thick piece that goes at the top. Pretty sure it is, but I'm sure I put it on in the past and it's been wrong. But I'm going to assume it is. Who do you think how many of these I've done? You think I'd know, wouldn't you? But you just, I don't know, it's bizarre. I've had instances where I've not been able to get the bumper on because I think I've had it round the wrong way. So I always wrap loads of tape around it, but you only really need to support it whilst the bumper is being put on, just to hold it in position. But I always, obviously you don't want it falling off, so I always wrap enough around it so it stays put. Also, in the middle, you want a decent bit that will stick, because if you put a piece on the middle to hold it, which I always do just to make it a bit stronger, and it flaps down, you can actually see it through the grill, which is not ideal. So I always make sure I get a nice long bit in the middle and then feed it from underneath. It's so sticky, this stuff. Feed it from underneath up the back, and then enough to stick it at the top like that. Bring that over and like that. So that should be enough to hold it in position. So when the bumper's on, if it does break, if this does break, it won't flap down. That's my theory, and I think it works. So that's that done. Right, really getting dark. Really getting dark. It doesn't look it through the camera, does it? But all my outside lights are starting to come on. Oh, look, the ones are just the ones. As I said that, it was like a queue for my lights on the garage, the sensor lights on the garage to come on. They've literally just, as I said it. You know what's really annoying me now? I've put that tape and it's not dead in the centre. I'm a bit OCD like that, but stuff it, it's on there. Right, so let's get the garage shut, and then get the old bumper in here on the trestles and get the stuff off. So we'll be back very, very soon. Okay, so we have to get everything off of here. I don't know how well you can see. First thing I'm going to do is take the lights off. Oh, let's not do them up, let's undo them. I'm so glad I bought this tool. I used to do it with a manual Torx wrench before. That one's rounded off, that's no good. That's a nuisance. Let's try that again. Oh, God, I hate these when they're rusty and you can't get them out. I haven't got the best light here, to be honest. Yeah, it's just going round. Sod it. Might have to drill those out. I'll try it with something else first. They do get very rusty, these bolts that they use. Typical, isn't it? It's just that one. So I say I'm going to try and repair this. See if I can push it back. Ta-da! That's one light. So we'll put that somewhere safe over here. Now I've got to try and get this one out. I don't want to break the tab. Oh, might have to try and drill that out tomorrow. I ain't got time today because it's just getting too dark. Even in the garage it's... Okay. Screwdriver. I just haven't got room in this garage. I haven't got room to do anything. It's really annoying. I know I should be thankful I've got a garage, of course. Not everyone's got a garage. A lot of people do it on their drive. And of course our friend Leon at Reviving Salvage used to do it on his drive, and now he pays good money to rent a garage. I don't know how much he pays, but whatever it is, Leon, it's coming out of your profits, isn't it? But at least you've got room to work, which is the main thing, I suppose. If I can get this bleeding thing out. There we go. Once you get it started, it comes out fine. So we'll give that a clean up. It's all okay. Yeah, we'll give that a clean up and then put that back in. What else? What else? So we've got to get these the fog light blanks, which are all hanging out as it is. Yeah, the clips have come off, but I think I've got clips, so we'll find clips and put clips on. What about this one? This one's got the clips on still. These could be a pain to get off sometimes, so you don't want to break them when you're taking them off, otherwise you can't get them on properly. There you go. So these ones have still got the clips on, you can see that. A bit dark over here, I'm afraid. Right, that's that. What else? Okay, we've got to get all of the Where's my little flathead screwdrivers gone? We've got to get all of these little things off because they will go on the new bumper. Well, that's two, and then we need to get the ones off on the actual DRLs as well, which come off okay. Just to bend them up a little bit, and then they just pop off. That's those 6 of those. Put those. I'm keeping all of these in a soup pot, a little soup pot. I'm going to put some more shelves up in this garage. I've got the shelves. It's just a matter of getting around to doing it. I think once I've got this car done and finished and gone, and the pressure's off a little bit, I'll try and sort this garage out a little bit and get some more shelves up and try and get it tidied. I know some of you, it does your OCD and it does mine in a little bit as well. And I'm the one who's always tripping over everything. I think we need an 8mm for the badge, I believe. Yep. Oh, I wouldn't want to get that DRL off, it's annoying. If I was dumping the bumper, I'd just break it. Break the bumper, but I'm not. Well, possibly not. The badge is okay, it's still got a bit of that green paint over it, which will obviously I'll be able to get out. But apart from that, it's alright. Which is nice. It's nice to have a decent badge. Now, let me show you these things. I'm sure you've seen these before. These little clips. It's so dark. Why is it so dark? These little clips, which is on the back of the whiskers, they're always rusty and they just break. They always break. There's nothing you can do about it, and sometimes you break those as well, in which case you have to glue the thing on. And I have got some, I have bought some, and I actually did get some from China as well, which I've used on one of the other cars, and they're actually fine, completely fine. They fit perfect. But I've got these, and if this bumper is repaired or dumped, they've got to come off. So they might as well come off now. So it's a bit difficult to film this, but I'll try and set the tripod up so you can actually see what I'm doing. Just going to move it over here. I'm going to try and wind up the height if I can. I don't know if you can do that on this tripod. You'll be pleased to know I've asked for another tripod for Christmas. A better one. No, you can't do it on this one. You can on my old one, you can't on this one. So let me try and get it up higher. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, I think I've got you zoomed in now that you can might be able to actually see what I'm doing. I'm going to turn this round. But yeah, as I'm saying, these things always break. But they've got to come off. So as I say, if they break and I have to glue these things on, so be it. So I want the smallest screwdriver I can find. I did used to use a Bradle, but I broke the end of it. Okay, that's mainly done, pretty much done. Two things I've got to do. I've got to put these things on. I've got to go through all my old ones and see if I can find the clips, because I've got 2 clips missing. I'm sure I will have some, but I think I am getting pretty few and far between on those now. I'm not sure I've got any up there in my spares, but I need to have a good look through. Everything went on okay. Even these you know, the things that we were talking about with the pins that you bend back. If I push those back with a screwdriver, they are now gripping, I think, they are now gripping onto it again. So that did work, what I was doing there, I think. I'm really struggling with the light at the moment, even though I've got a light above me, a good bright LED light, because I'm getting in the way of it. So it's casting a shadow and it's making it more difficult for me to do. The big whiskers, as I call them, the other bits, chrome bits, the ones that you have to bang on that I've showed you before. One of them's on completely and the other one is being a bit stubborn. So I'll have to have another go at that tomorrow. But pretty much, it's all back together. So I'm going to actually put it on the car. Again, you know, only temporarily until tomorrow, but I'm going to zoom you in so you can actually see. You're up in the air at the moment, so I have to be careful that the camera don't fall over. So bear with me while I be glad when I get my, if Santa brings me my new tripod. Right, let's tighten that up, zoom in a little bit. Right, let's get that on. Just need a couple of screws to hold it in position. And we're almost done on this car now. What have I done with them? There they are. We're almost done now on this. Told you it was going to be a quick project. That's assuming it passes its MOT, of course. We can only hope. Right, let's just lift that on into position. Like so. I'll say I'm only doing it loosely. I'm not putting it into the wings or anything like that because it's got to come back off. So, but look at that. It's really looking the part now. Don't you think? Yeah. Let's just screw that on properly. Then we'll shut the bonnet down. And get the new plates on tomorrow as well. The new number plates. So, my intention is by the end of the weekend, this will be out driving on the street. It is already MOT'd. Obviously, I'm putting a new MOT on it. Let's just take it off there. But it is MOT'd. I've literally got the logbook back a couple of days ago. Zoom out. So I can actually drive it, tax it, and then drive it. So if it passes the MOT on, I haven't booked the MOT yet, but I'm going to book the try and book the MOT for Wednesday or Thursday next week. If it passes, then this car will be finished and ready to go by next weekend. Final clean up on the inside. Service if it needs it. Obviously, I've still got to track down that service history as I mentioned earlier. But we're virtually there. We are virtually there. Yeah, it's great. So we will be back in the morning and we'll finish off this bumper. That's the chrome that's on properly. That one, as you can see, is not. But I need to really give it a good whack. It was difficult to do on it. It's only supported by one bit of wood. It's really awkward. If it had been daylight, I would have done it outside. But as you can see, it's proper dark now. I'm not even sure what time it is. I think the batteries have gone in my Fiat clock. Yeah, it says 25 to 9, so it's certainly not that. Anyway, so we're going to shut the bonnet down. Just take a quick picture for Instagram to show that it's been done, or almost done. And then we'll be back in the morning. So we'll see you tomorrow morning, back in daylight. Okay, so welcome back. It is the next day. It is the next afternoon. If you can see it on the ground, it's just started raining. So it's about, let's have a look at my phone. It's 20 past 2 in the afternoon. I've had a very busy morning. We had a new oven delivered today, so I had to take the old oven out, put the new oven in, wire it all in, and then put all the cupboards back together and so on. So yeah, I've had a very busy morning this morning. So I've only just managed to get myself out here in the cold, and now it's raining. So what we're going to do, we're going to get this bumper back off, and we are going to, I've cleaned them up, and I've got the clips on both of these. There you go. So I've managed to find clips. So I'm going to take the bumper off. I'm going to put these on the car, on the bumper, with the bumper off the car, because sometimes you need to get through to the back and fiddle about with these clips. If the clips don't go in properly, which they often don't, you have to sort of manoeuvre them about with a screwdriver to get them to go into the correct position. So let's just get the bumper off. And then the other thing, obviously, we've got to get the number plate on, and I need to get this in properly. I'm tempted to whack it now, but it's not on properly, so let's try. doesn't want to go, this one. No. It's silly that you have to do that, whack it like that, but it is really the only way that you can do it. I've never found another way that you can do it, from the front or the back. Right, so we need to angle the camera down and get these on. I think what we're going to do is put something underneath the corners of the bumper. Put a cloth or something. I've got an old towel here I can put under one side. I just don't want to end up chipping the paint off under the edges. Towel under that side, and I've got this silver windscreen protector thing that I can put under this side. There we go. Right. Okay. So these should, and they normally do, go on relatively painlessly. As I say, they do sometimes get stuck. There you go. Something else that you have to bang, but they do tend to go on. As long as these bits on the back aren't bent, then they tend to go on okay. Ow! Ah, got a bent tab on there. That was my fault, and now I've marked the bumper. It's only plastic transference. Thankfully, I haven't scratched it. That was me being careless. There you go. There you go. That's on. Right. So that one is on properly. It's just this other one doesn't seem to want to go on for some bizarre reason. Just doesn't want to go. I may have to take it off again and start again. Come on, off now. You can't get it on or off now. I think maybe the reason, oh, that's broken now. Maybe you need to get it in the top first. I don't know. So you can't feed it in. It just literally has to bang in. Now that's popped off. So you just don't want to go. Does not want to go. I'm going to try that when it's on the car, I think, because it is actually easier to do when it's on the car. That's a bit loose as well. Have I done that? I think I might have actually. That's oh, for God's sake, where that support is glued on at the back, that's come off a bit. So never mind. I don't know if I just did that, whacking that or what, but I just don't want to go on that one. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bumper on properly if I can, and then we'll try whacking it again. But it is easier once it's on to whack it. Failing that, I'm going to cut the tabs off and stick it on. They are a pain. I mean, this isn't an original bumper, but as you saw, the other side went on fine. So I never really understand why they don't go on sometimes. But yeah, I'm going to put the bumper on. I'm going to try. I think everything else is on, isn't it? Everything else is wired up down here. So the bumper might as well go on. And then we'll cross that bridge on the other bit when we come to it. And of course we hope that it's going to go into the wings okay, which is always you never really know whether it's going to go in there or not. I need to let's just turn this engine off for a minute. It's not fitted fantastically well, especially that side. I think I'm going to need a new bracket that side, but I'm still going to button it up properly. But what I've got to do with my 10mm spanner is I've got to try and move, certainly this side. I just need to move the bonnet very, very slightly forward, very, very slightly. So I'm going to loosen it off a little bit, and then I'm going to see if I can move it just a bit. That might be all it needed actually. Let's do that back up and hope that that in one foul swoop has done the trick. There's only a smidge and it only moved forward a smidge, so hopefully that's enough. And hopefully I've gone the right way. Doesn't seem we've actually done anything. That's strange. Let's try. That's weird. So if I've moved that forward, maybe I've gone the wrong way. Maybe I had to go the other way. Let's try that. Let's go back the other way. So it's not a lot. Not why I'm doing this now out in the rain. Right, let's try that. Oh. No, that's worse if anything. Okay, so we're going to have a little bit of fiddling about with this. There you go, done. Oh, I haven't put the number plate on, have I? Got to do that still. But yeah, it's all buttoned up. So the only thing I've got left to do, apart from putting the number plate on, is so the bonnet's all nicely lined up now. I did that off camera because it took me some time, but I used the old block of wood, the old trusty block of wood in the hinge, gently bounce it, and moved it enough forward. It all nicely lines up at the front, and it's all done. Yeah, it was taking me a bit of time, so I did it off camera because it was going to be rather boring for you. So I'm not happy. I'm happy with the bumper gap that side, but I'm not happy with it that's the other side. So there is the front of that thing is missing. So I think although I have done the bolts up, which is obviously good enough for it when it goes for its MOT, I will take the bumper off again, and I'll have to have a look to see what brackets I've got, because as I say, the front of that one is broken, so it needs replacing really. Sometimes when the front of it's broken it holds in okay, but it's for some reason, I don't know why, the gap is actually at the back, but I had to, you probably saw me with my cutting machine, I had to cut the bolt off. I couldn't get it to undo, it was just spinning and I couldn't grip it on the other side. So although I need to get a nut and a bolt through there, it was going to be a bit challenging to do that, but I think it's probably too tight just here because it's not in an actual bracket. So we need to sort that out, because that gap there at the moment is unacceptable. So we'll do that. Put that washer up there, put that up there. So yeah, apart from putting a number plate on, I'm done for the day, and it's pouring me rain. I was going to hoover the inside of the car out, I still haven't done that, but that'll be another day, probably maybe tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow morning, depending on what the weather's like. It's supposed to be quite mild tomorrow, I think. But I'm going to put a number plate on now. I'm just going to dry it off and then drill the number plate and put that on, and then I could, all I've got to do is tax it. Makes me laugh, you know, let's just go around the car. I got the logbook Wednesday, I think it was, Tuesday, Wednesday. Today, Saturday, I got the letter from the DVLA telling me that I need to tax it or sawn it. I've only had like the logbook for 3 days. They produced the logbook last Friday. I got it either Tuesday or Wednesday, and they're already telling me I need to tax it. Yeah, I know I do, and I will. Oh, I've got a video coming up. I've got a cunning plan to sort that out. I don't know if it's going to work, and I'm going to do a video on that all on its own. It'll be part of the video for the car, but it'll also be a little video on its own. It's a cunning plan, as someone once said. Don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to give it a bash, and that'll be coming next week. So I'm hoping I can get that for the 5 o'clock Wednesday afternoon video, weather permitting. But I'm going to practice it on something else first. So watch this space, and we might see something quite good and quite useful. So anyway, we're done for today. So you know how it goes. Let's take my hat off. It's just wet. It's not really cold today. I don't even know why I've got it on. Yeah, so you know how it goes. Again, as always, thanks for watching. If you're not a subscriber, please hit the button. As of counting, as of this morning, I am 19 subscriptions away from 4,000. 19. I'm hoping by the time you see this video tomorrow, no, it won't. This video will be up tomorrow morning for 10 o'clock. It won't be, but with your help, if you are a casual viewer and you are watching the end of this video and you hit that subscribe button, you will push me over that 4,000 mark, because 50% of you or thereabouts are not subscribers. Just slightly above 50% of you are not subscribers. So please hit that subscribe button. Please help me push the channel over 4,000. I was interested to see, I'm waffling again, but I want to tell you this anyway. I was interested to see, watching Mark at Resurrect last week. Now he's got 5,000 and something, about 1,500 more viewers than I've got. He's been going for longer than I have, and he hit a milestone of a million views last week. And I just thought to myself, I wonder how many views I've had. So I had a look around the YouTube studio, which is what we use to look at the analytics and what have you. And I actually hit 1 million views a while ago. I'm up 1,080,000 or something like that. Sorry, I saw the back door open. I thought my wife was coming out to talk to me. Yeah, so I hit 1 million views a little while ago. It didn't tell me when I hit them, but I was up to about 1,080,000 or something like that. I didn't get notified by YouTube, so I thought the whole point was you did get notified by YouTube when you hit milestones like that, but I didn't. So I've hit 1 million too. So that 1 million is down to you, and I thank you for that. But as I say, if you're not a subscriber, sorry to keep on about it, but please hit that button. I want to try and... The subscriptions have slowed down, and I don't know when we'll go anywhere near 10,000, but that would obviously be a long way off. But the more viewers we get, the more subscribers we get, the quicker it goes up. So let's see where we are this time next year. But please hit that subscribe button. But I'm going to stop waffling now, because you're probably getting fed up looking at my face. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next week, or as I say, probably Wednesday, when we'll have that little surprise video of what I'm going to try. But until then, take care, stay safe, and we will see you then. Thanks for watching.